अस्सलाम वालेकुम स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज हम पाक 522 के मिड टर्म प्रिपरेशन के हवाले से इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्टिव्स जो हैं, शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स वो यहाँ पे जो है डिस्कस करेंगे। लेसन वाइज पार्ट 2 है ये इस वीडियो का, जिसमें हम लेक्चर नंबर 8 से लेक्चर नंबर 12 तक कंप्लीट करेंगे। ठीक है, तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। What is Lahore Resolution? Lahore Resolution was a political demand for separate Muslim states in 1940. Where and when was the Lahore Resolution passed? It was passed in Lahore on 24 March 1940. Who presided over the Lahore Resolution session? Muhammad Ali Jinnah presided over the session. Who moved the Lahore Resolution? A.K. Fazlul Haq moved the resolution. What was the main demand of the Lahore Resolution? The main demand was separate independent Muslim states. Why was the Lahore Resolution needed? It was needed due to Muslim fear of Hindu majority domination. What is the significance of the Lahore Resolution? It gave the idea of Pakistan for the first time. What was two-nation theory in Lahore Resolution? It means Muslims and Hindus are two separate nations. What areas were included in Muslim majority zone? Punjab, Bengal, Sindh and NWFB were included. What was Muslim League's goal? Muslim League wanted political independence for Muslims. What was Congress' reaction? Congress rejected the Lahore Resolution completely. What was the British reaction? The British government remained neutral and observed carefully. Why did Muslims demand a separate state? Because they feared cultural and political loss in united India. What was Jinnah's role in the Lahore Resolution? He guided, presided, and defended the resolution. What was the impact of the Lahore Resolution? It united Muslims on the demand of Pakistan. Why is the Lahore Resolution important? It became the foundation of the Pakistan movement. What does sovereignty means in resolution? It means full political independence of Muslim states. What was the political condition after the 1937 election? Congress gained power. Muslims felt weak. What was the aim of Muslim League? To protect Muslim rights and identity. What is the final outcome of the Lahore Resolution? It led to the creation of Pakistan in 1947. What was the Cripps mission? The Cripps mission was sent in 1942 to gain Indian support for World War II. Why did Cripps mission fail? It failed because Congress and Muslim League both rejected its proposals. What was the Quit India movement? It was a movement launched in 1942 demanding immediate British withdrawal from India. What was Muslim League's role in the Quit India movement? The Muslim League did not support the Quit India movement. What was the Simla Conference? It was a 1945 meeting to resolve political deadlock and form a new executive council. Why did the Simla Conference fail? It failed due to disagreement over Muslim representation. What were the election of 1945, 1946? These elections were held to form central and provincial assemblies in India. Why were 1945-46 election important? They showed strong support for the Muslim League and demand for Pakistan. What was the cabinet mission plan? It was a 1946 British plan to transfer power and keep India united. Why did the cabinet mission fail? It failed due to disagreement between Congress and Muslim League on the grouping system. What was Direct Action Day? It was a protest announced by Muslim League in 1946 to show demand for Pakistan. What was the Mountbatten Plan? It was a 1947 plan that divided India into two independent states, India and Pakistan. Why is the 3rd June plan important. It gave final approval for the creation of Pakistan. When did Pakistan become independent? Pakistan became independent on 14th August 1947. What was the role of Fatima Jinnah in the Pakistan movement? Fatima Jinnah played an important role in women mobilization and supported Quaid-e-Azam in political activities. Why is Fatima Jinnah called Madre-Millat? She is called Madre-Millat because she guided and inspired Muslim women in the Pakistan movement. What was the role of Begum Rana Liaquat Ali Khan? She organized women, supported Muslim League, and worked for social welfare. What is APWA? APWA is an organization founded by Begum Rana for women education and welfare. What was the role of Begum Shaista Ikramullah? She worked in constitutional development and represented Pakistan internationally. What was Muslim Students Federation (MSF)? MSF was a student organization that supported the Muslim League and Pakistan movement. What was the role of Aligarh Muslim University? It provided intellectual support and political awareness for Pakistan movement. Why was Islamia College Peshawar important? It mobilized students and supported Muslim League in NWFP. How did students support the Pakistan movement? Students spread awareness through rallies, meetings, and pamphlets. What challenges did women face? Women faced cultural restrictions like parda and limited education. What was Fatima Sughra's role? She hoisted Muslim League flag on the Punjab Secretariat in 1947. Why were women important in the Pakistan movement? They increased political awareness and supported Muslim League activities. How did MSF help the Pakistan movement? MSF organized students and spread the ideology of Pakistan. What was the intellectual role of AMU? AMU shaped political leaders and promoted Muslim nationalism. What was the main contribution of students? Students turned the Pakistan movement into a mass movement. What was the refugee problems? The refugee problems was the large scale migration of Muslims from India to Pakistan after 1947. Why was the refugee crisis serious? It was serious because millions of refugees arrived suddenly without shelter, food, and jobs. What was the cash balance dispute? It was the issue of India delaying payment of Pakistan's share of 750 million rupees. Who played a role in solving the cash dispute? Mahatma Gandhi helped by pressuring India through a hunger strike. What was the Redcliffe Award? It was the boundary decision that divided British India into India and Pakistan in 1947. Why is Gurdaspur important? It was important because it provided India access to Kashmir. What caused the water dispute? The water dispute started when India controlled headworks of rivers after partition. What is the Indus Water Treaty? It is a 1960 agreement dividing river waters between India and Pakistan. What was the Junagadh issue? It was a dispute when Junagadh acceded to Pakistan but was occupied by India. What happened in the Hyderabad case? Hyderabad was annexed by India in 1948 through military action. Why is the Kashmir dispute important? Because it is a Muslim majority area and a long-standing conflict between India and Pakistan. What is line of control? LOC. It is the ceasefire boundary dividing Indian and Pakistani controlled Kashmir. What were the administrative problems of Pakistan? Pakistan lacked staff, offices, and experienced officials after independence. Why did Pakistan face military shortage? Because most trained officers and equipment remained in India. Why was Karachi chosen as capital? Karachi was chosen due to its economic importance and infrastructure. What was the major impact of partition migration? It changed population structure and created economic and social pressure. What happened after Quaid-e-Azam's death? It created a leadership vacuum in Pakistan. What was the major effect of Liaquat Ali Khan's death? It increased political instability in Pakistan. What was the main cause of Kashmir war? It was caused by Maharaja's accession to India against Muslim majority wishes. Why was early Pakistan unstable? Because of the refugee crisis, financial shortage, and weak administration. What is a constitution? A constitution is the fundamental law of a country that explains how the government works and protects citizens' rights. What did Thomas Paine say about the constitution? Thomas Paine said that a constitution is created by the people to establish and control the government. What is written? A written constitution is a constitution that exists in a single codified document or set of legal documents. Give one example of written constitution. The Constitution of the USA is an example of a written constitution. What is an unwritten constitution? An unwritten constitution is based on customs, convention, judicial decision, and historical documents instead of one single document. Which country has an unwritten constitution? The United Kingdom has an unwritten constitution. What is the main advantage of a written constitution? The main advantage of a written constitution is clarity and certainty. What is the main advantage of an unwritten constitution? The main advantage of an unwritten constitution is flexibility. What is meant by the supremacy of the constitution? It means that the constitution is the highest law of the land and all institutions must follow it. What is federal constitution? A federal constitution divides powers between the central government and regional governments. What is unitary constitution? A unitary constitution concentrates powers in the central government. What is the separation of power? The separation of powers means dividing government powers among legislature, executives, and judiciary. What is a rigid constitution? A rigid constitution is one that is difficult to amend through a special procedure. What is a flexible constitution? A flexible constitution can be amended easily through the ordinary law making process. What is the Bill of Rights? The Bill of Rights is a list of basic rights and freedom guaranteed to citizens. What is judicial review? Judicial review is the power of courts to examine laws and government actions according to the Constitution. What is parliamentary system? A parliamentary system is a system in which the prime minister is accountable to parliament. What is the presidential system? A presidential system is a system in which the president is both head of a state and head of government. What is the importance of preamble? The preamble explains the aims, objectives, and guiding principles of the constitution. Why is the constitution important? The constitution is important because it provides stability, protects right, limits government power, and ensures the rule of law. How does the Constitution protect citizens? The Constitution protects citizens by guaranteeing fundamental rights and freedom. How does the Constitution prevent tyranny? The Constitution prevents tyranny by dividing powers and establishing checks and balances. What is meant by the rule of law? The rule of law means that everyone, including rulers, must obey the law. How does the Constitution promote national unity? The Constitution promotes national unity by providing common values, rules, and goals for all citizens. Why is the Constitution of Pakistan significant? The Constitution of Pakistan is significant because it establishes an Islamic democratic system and guarantees citizens fundamental rights. इसके साथ ही हमारा पार्ट 2 पार्ट 522 सब्जेक्ट के शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स का यही मुकम्मल होता है। मुझे उम्मीद है कि ये वीडियोस आपके लिए बहुत बेनिफिशियल रहेंगी। चैनल पर आप नए हैं तो सब्सक्राइब करना हरगिज़ ना भूलिएगा। कोई आपका सवाल हो या आप कोई फीडबैक देना चाहें तो ज़रूर कमेंट सेक्शन में बताइएगा। मैं इंशाल्लाह पूरी कोशिश करूंगी टाइमली रिस्पॉन्स देने की। मेरे लेक्चर्स को शेयर करना हरगिज़ ना भूलिएगा ताकि आपकी तरह बाकी स्टूडेंट्स भी इन लेक्चर से, इन वीडियो से अच्छी अपनी मिड टर्म की तैयारी कर पाएँ। ठीक है जी। इंशाअल्लाह ताला अपने नेक्स्ट लेक्चर के साथ जल्द हाजिर होंगे। तब तक आप सब अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।